Hello everyone and welcome to the class of ACCA Paper F1, that is Accountant in Business. Today it's first lecture, and before going to start, let me introduce myself. My name is Kokab Manzoor and I'm a PhD scholar. I have a widespread experience of 15 years in my professional life, including last 10 years in teaching and training in different universities and to different corporate organizations. I have besides the teaching, I also provide trainings on management and leadership and various other managerial skills to the corporate employees. I also do career counseling to the different levels of the you can say young professional as well as the students. Beside all that, I also have a online teaching experience. You can see my YouTube link there, youtube.com/Kokab Manzoor, and you can find around 200 videos about different subjects on this channel, right? You can see my WhatsApp number 000923338371767, and my email address is visible, kokabmanzoor2012@gmail, and my Facebook page link is also there. So that was a brief introduction about me. During this session, during this class, if there is any question, confusion or query, so you can contact me by using any of this medium, right? So once again, welcome you all in this session, and I hope you people are doing great and having a great condition, and I'm very eager to learn a lot of things from you people as well, and I'm expecting the same at your end, right? Okay, so before going to start the subject, let me first tell you about an overview of the subject, what this subject is all about and what we are going to study in it. So I hope you guys are having your pen and paper with yourself, notebooks, so you can keep on writing the things, keep on noting down, jotting down the ideas which might not be visible on the slides, but which might be explained during the lecture as well, right? So if you don't have, so pause the video and get your pen and paper. Clear? Okay, let's begin. This is the overview of the subject, right? What we are going to discuss in this subject, or what this subject is all about. So it will begin from the concept that what business organizations are and what are their stakeholders, how many types of stakeholders do we have, how they are going to affect the business operations and business you can say activities, and what are the internal and external environment, right? Micro environment and macroeconomic environment, how they are going to affect it, right? So there are a number of variables that affects our business operations, so we will study all those as well. Beside that, we'll go with the understanding of what business organization structure is, how they are formed, not physical structure like building, but we are mostly interested in the organizational soft structure, like their hierarchy and their departmentalizations, and how they are interacting with each other, what are their function, and how the governance take place at corporate level, right? We will also be interested to study in the accounting procedures, the reporting systems, and financial control and compliance system, how you comply with the international standards which are prevailing and you can say existing standards. So how you're going to comply with, what are these reporting structure and systems that you need to follow while working in an organization. And then we will move towards the another segment, that is the management side, where the leadership, the managerial skills, the team building, the interpersonal skills will be discussed, that how these are going to play the roles, how you can say individual form the groups and the group form the you can say organization, and how they interact, how they interact with each other, and how to deal with the politics that takes place within the department, within the organizations, right? So different types of human resource policies, human resource management, recruitment, selection, and various types of managerial functions and leadership skills will be discussed and enhanced, so that you can implement these when you will be in your professional life. Along with all that, we will also discuss the personal effectiveness and communication, that because communication is a kind, it's known as the, you can say, lifeblood of the business as well. Like if the better you communicate with your down staff, you can say lower communication or upward communication, so you can have the better result. A lot of problems arises due to the gap in communication. So we learned that how you can enhance the communication skills so that you can better perform in the business as well. And the last but not the least, the ethics. We cannot forget the ethics, right? So we'll also discuss what professional ethics are important in the business and how they are going to affect the accounting and business of the organization, right? So ethical standards will be discussed, and what are the professional ethics that the person or the people who are working there, they must follow, right? So this is the overview, and we will discuss all these one by one. It's almost having around 25 chapters. The course is divided into 25 chapters we will discuss, and it may take around 35 to 40 lectures that will cover the entire course, and it may increase or decrease in numbers, but we will take it as the course going on, right? So what is the basic aim of the course? The aim of the course is to develop the knowledge and understanding of the business environment and the influence that it has on the accountant of the organization operator. So since AC is an accountancy degree, so you see so we need to develop these skills, the allied skills that you will be having, right? The basic understanding of the business formation and structure, and that you are going to see, and the business contributing in an efficient and ethical and effective organization, and to build the knowledge and understanding of the basic principles of the effective management. So basic purpose of the course is to equip you with all these managerial and communication skills and accountancy skills, so that you can perform all these activities in a better way in your professional life as well. So that is a brief introduction. As we move on, so you will be you will get more insight about all these topics one by one, right? So here is the chapter number 1. So now we are going to start our course, or we can say formally the lecture number 1 is about the introduction of the business organization. In the business, in this lecture, what methodology we are going to follow? Basically, I'll explain the concept, and after the concept, then we will have a kind of a quiz, you can say, which is we are giving the name as a test your knowledge, right? So I'll show you the quiz, and you're going to answer it, and then I'll show you the answer. Then you can match your answer with my answers as well, and I also provide the justification that what and how this answer is relevant, right? So you can cross match it, and at the end of the chapter, then I will show you some more quizzes, some more questions, just to test your understanding. There will be no answers mentioned. You will going to perform it, and then you can by solving all the question at the end, then you can share your answer with me, and then we'll cross examine it, that where and how well you perform. So it just took a few minutes to start, but since it's the first lecture, so these basic orientation was very important, so that we can have a very gel-like environment, and we can discuss each other, and we know what we are going to do, right? So again, ready, and once again, welcome to the class, right? Here's our first chapter. What we are going to discuss, the learning objective of the chapter is, after finishing this chapter, you'll be able to understand what business organizations are, and you'll be able to explain why they are formed and how they are formed, and describe the communication features, common feature of the business, right? Let me have the pen here so you can easily see. Okay, and explain how the business organizations differ, on what basis they differ with each other. Then there are different types of organizations, industrial and commercial sector organization, and how they're operating, and different types of business organization is commercial, profit, non-profit, public sector, governmental sector. So you see, it's all about the organization, the business organizations, right? So let's start from the first concept. What is business organization? You see, as you see around yourself, there are a lot of business organizations, right? So it's very difficult to give one specific definition for all the business organization, but we'll take help from the Buchanan and Szynski. Sorry, I am not able to pronounce it accurately. So anyway, they have given a definition where there are common you can say elements are mentioned, right? So what is it? Organizations are the social arrangements for the controlled performance of collective goal. So they say that there are three elements that are common in all the organizations. You see, we have small organizations, we have big organizations, we have government organizations, we have non-government organizations, we have NGOs, we have public sector and the private sector, we have multinational, we have small SMEs. So there are variety of the organization, and there are variety of needs and variety of structures, right? So what Bechman and Huksinski said, that they say that why not to find out some common things so that can be helpful for us to define the organization. So they find out three things. Number one is the organization have collective goals. They are social arrangements. Number two, and the controlled performance. Now what does it mean? It means that first of all, organizations are social arrangements, means there are some people who are working together in a certain mechanism, right? The arrangements. What they do, the controlled performance, it means everybody is supposed to do a certain type of task, a certain role and responsibility is given to a person, and then he or she can measure his or her performance. So there is controlled performance, somebody is monitoring the performance as well, and for what they are doing, for the collective goals. Like there is a common goal for all the people working in that specific set, the organization. Like for example, it means people may have their individual goals as well, but all the efforts that they are dedicating in a specific social arrangements, working together, monitored by somebody for a certain purpose. Like I'll give you a simple example. You see, like in cricket team, for example, you see, if a bowler is bowling just to get more wickets so that I will get man of the match title, right? Or the batsman is trying hard to make a century or a higher score so that he or she can get you can say the man of the match or woman of the match title. So now that is not the collective goal, right? But if in the entire team all the 11 players are putting their best so that our team can win, now this is called as collective goals. So similarly in organization, if right from the PN or the security guard to the CEO, everybody is putting their efforts, doing their best in a specific set of arrangements so that they can achieve the common goal. It may be providing a quality education or quality product, or enhancing productivity, or enhancing market share, or anything that can be, the goal can be anything, right? So this is what business organizations are. Now why do we need organizations? What is the benefit of it? You see, in organization what we do, we share the skills. The people working in the organization, they share their skills and the knowledge. Means somebody will be expert in you can say we see, we are pooling the resources, we are sharing the skills. People from the different they perform the different tasks and they have different knowledges and different skills, so they put together so they can, you can say, can create more out of it. You see, this can enable the people to perform the task so that they will be unable to achieve their own, right? So now there are 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, so everybody is having some knowledge or some skills, so all the resources are there shared and everybody is learning and contributing in it. And you see, second thing is we have the different type of specialists in the organization. Some people will be good in you can see in finance, other will be good in marketing, other will be good in production, other will be good in advertisement, other will be good in security system or IT system. So we have the experts of all. So you see, this allows them to build up a greater level of skill and the knowledge than they would have if they attempted to be good at everything. Like if for example I am good at one thing, for example I am good at management skills, so I may not be good at IT skills. So if I am alone, so I have to learn some IT basic skills as well, I have to learn some basic finance as well to run my business. So why not to have in organization, we have different types of people, they are expert of different fields, so they are contributing more to it, right? Similarly, the third reason is pooling the resources. We pool means adding up the resources. We add up all the resources. Now, what are the resources? It may be money, it may be time, it may be your skills, it may be your expertise, whatever, right? So in case of money, some people are the shareholders, some people contribute, everybody is giving some money. So now we have more money, everybody is putting their time. If we have 100 people and everybody is giving 8 hours, so means now we have 800 hours in one day, you see. So we have more time, we pool resources at the pool. So when all these things takes place, what will happen? This will create a synergy. You know synergy? Synergy means when we say 2 plus 2 is equal to more than 4, means the two people, if they are working at individual level, they may not be able to produce that much as if they are working together. So when people work together, they can reproduce more. That is what we call as team management, team results, right? Teamwork. So team means now so many people putting their all efforts together, so now they can achieve more, right? So by sharing the knowledge and skills, specialized people pooling the resources, all that will generate synergy, and organization will be able to achieve more and more than the individual could do their own. I mean 10 people different in working on an individual basis in different settings will not be able to produce that much as if these 10 people would be working together in one environment, can produce much more. Okay, now what are the different types of organization? We have various types of organization, and here we are going to classify in two: commercial and non-commercial or not for profit organization. Commercial, as the name clarifies, you see, it's a profit seeking organization. What is the main objective? The main objective of the organization is to maximize the wealth of the owner. Those people who have invested the money, their money must be enhanced, their wealth must be increased. So the sole purpose of the organization is to maximize the wealth, the main objective, not the sole purpose. The main is maximizing the wealth, then there might be other objectives as well. So within commercial organization, now we have further three subtypes: sole traders, partnerships, and limited liabilities. Okay, sole traders, sole means single, right? So sole traders, or some people call it as sole entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs, or they means or sole proprietorship. So sole proprietorship means single owner. So the organization which is owned and run by one person. Like normally you can see the example can be given that the small shops, I'm the owner, I'm the salesman, I'm the manager, I'm the shopkeeper, so I'm the one who is running the entire show. So we say a shop may be called as sole traders, right? Similarly, there are some agents, they take goods from one place and sell it to other. So he's a single person and he is the owner, or she is the owner and manager as well, so, and the agent as well. So they are the sole traders. Another type of, again the purpose is to earn the profit, right? To maximize his or her wealth. Another is partnership. Now partnership means, as the name clarifies, when there are two or more people, they pool the resources, they put their money together and start the business. The organization which is owned and run by two or more individuals. So minimum 2 and maximum there is no limit, but usually it's if there are few 5, 6, 7 people or less than 20, so we can call it as partnership. So because the more the people are, so the more it is getting troubled for running the partnership, right? So few people are considered as ideal, like 5 to 7 people are considered ideal partnership. So 2 people, they can make the partnership, they pool together, they there might be, you see there, you might see Jordan and Michael shop, right? Or Jordan and Michael company, so they give it a name like this, right? Now what is the important thing is, the important thing in these two is the owner of the business is not legally separate from the business itself, right? What does it mean? It means that if I'm the owner of the shopkeeper, if the customer comes and he has a complaint or she has a complaint, or they are going to sue me, so they cannot sue a shop. Shop is not does not have a separate identity, right? So me and the business are one and the same, right? So you see, it's mentioned if a partnership is sued by a customer, the customer is actually suing the owner of the business, those who are the owner, not the company, right? Because it does not have separate entity. While in case of limited company, limited liability company, then we can have a limited company has a separate legal identity, who are known as shareholder, right? From owners, it is a separate, right? Means if the company has some owners are a separate person and the company is a separate person. It's a hypothetical person, right? So the owner's liability is limited to the amount they have invested. Yes. So the owner's liability is limited, means if an owner has invested 100 million, for example, so they are responsible for the 100 million. But if there is a loss of more than that, so company itself will be responsible for it. So in UK there are two types of limited companies, public limited and private limited. Now what is private limited? Private limited, which is usually denoted by LTD after their name, like we see ABC Ltd, right? Company is like this. So these tend to be a smaller business. They are normally small business owned by a few shareholders. There are a few shareholders. The company is registered with the local the body of that country. In different countries there are different bodies where these companies are registered, right? But the main point is its shares cannot be offered to the general public. Means you cannot float its share for the public. There are a few shareholders who pool their resources and they registered their company as a limited company with the Security Exchange Commission or any body that is responsible in the country, because in different countries it is different. So in public limited company, which is usually noted by PLC after their name, right? So what these companies are the bigger companies, sometimes known as corporations. Shares can be offered to the public. So the main difference is in private limited shares cannot be offered, and in public limited shares can be offered to the general public. Like you can see Toyota and Honda and these companies, their shares are offered in the market, right? And people are buying, Microsoft, people are buying their shares, meaning that there can be millions of different shares. So there are a lot of people, someone buy one share, other is buying 2 shares, other is buying 100 shares, other is buying 10,000 shares, right? So this makes it easier for the company to raise the finance. So when company needs more money, so they float the share and people are buying it, so that company can have millions and millions of dollars or pounds to run their organization. True? Okay. Then the second, this was first type, means a commercial organization. The second is non-profit organization, or a non-profit organization. It is also known as not-for-profit organization. So NFP and NPO both are the same, so don't get confused if you see these two terms in the quiz or in your exams. So both have the same meaning. So what is the main objective? The main objective is not to earn profit. The commercial organization's main you can say sole purpose is to earn profit, while the not-for-profit organizations, their main objective is what? They seek to satisfy what? The particular needs of the members of this society or the sector of the society. So there are various types of the not-for-profit organization, but the main difference is their main objective is not to earn the profit. Rather, it may be a charity organization or anything, like we will now discuss different types of organizations. See, government departments, there are government departments, their job is to you can say custom department, revenue department, economic and planning department, right, statistical department. So everyone has its own you can say prime objective, but any of them does not have the objective of earning profit. They may raise income, they may have revenue, they may earn profit, but that is not the main objective. You need to understand this, right? Sometimes, you know, there's a tip of quiz in exam, right? In exam they write like this: the main objective of the firm is this, and the main word, you see, And if they say there are one of the objective of the firm can be profit, so then you can even say it can be not for profit organization as well, right? But that is not the main, right? Okay, schools, hospitals, charities, clubs, you see all of these does not have the main objective of the profit. Here you can say the schools and the hospitals, if they are private, so then they may have, but usually government owned and the public schools or these hospitals have the objectives to provide the quality education or the quality health as well. The objectives differ, vary, like hospital exists to treat the patients, to provide health care. Councils may see their mission as caring for their communities. You see different types of councils have their objective is to care the communities. Government organization exists to implement the government policies, laws, rules, right? So, and similarly charity may have the provision of relief of victims to disasters. So, their main objective is to give the relief, like if there is a flood effectives, or you can say earthquake effectives, and the charity organization is working on the rehabilitation, on the reconstruction of these areas, such affected areas. So, then their objective may be this, to give the relief. Government objective may be to implement their law, policies, right? And similarly school objectives or the patient hospital objectives. So, every organization objective may differ, but you see none of them has the objective to earn profit. They may earn profit, but that is not the main objective. Okay, now we can also classify organization basis on the public and private sector. Public and private sector. Sorry, what happened? Okay, public and private sector. Public sector organization is that part of the economy that is concerned with providing the basic government services and is controlled by the government. I mean that organization which is controlled and owned by the government is called as public service sector organizations, right? See, like example you can see here, police, right? So, police is not privately owned, but it is owned by the government, right? Military, defense forces, public transport, primary health care, care or education, right? Education for the poor or health care for the poor. So, these are the organizations which are owned by the government and run and controlled by the government, right? So, they are established to provide the basic services. And then what is private organization? Private organization is what? It is run by the private individuals or the group. It may be an individual bank, it may be sorry, not individual, it may be a bank, it may be a firm, it may be a company, anything that is not owned and run by the government, but by the individuals. Like you see, there are so many telecom companies, or there are so many factories or organizations. They are owned by the individual people, and they are run, means they are controlled by them, and they are run by them. Sometimes our organizations are being run by the groups as well, right? So we can also classify the organization on the basis of public and private sector. So, what do you say? The private sector will therefore be normally including what? Businesses, all the businesses, as I gave the example, charities. You see, now this is charity is a not for profit organization, but still it's a private organization, right? Means if a few people are, you see, there are few donors, they are donating funds in it, and they are running that organization to, you can say, eradicate malaria, right? So it means it's not government owned, but it's a private organization. Similarly, the clubs and so many others, right? So what is within these will be both profit seeking and not for profit seeking. So you can see, here's a technical thing in exam. They may ask you that private sector, you can say one of the statement can be in the quiz or the exam will be that in private sector there will be both profit seeking and not for profit seeking organization. So you might be confused that profit seeking is can be private, but how could be not for profit seeking with the private? So it may be a public sector organization, so you may choose the wrong option, right? So be vigilant. These type of things, you can say tricky things do come in the exams, right? So within these, what happens in private sector organization may be private, maybe profit seeking like businesses, and maybe not for profit seeking like charities, NGOs and other kind of organizations. Now here is to test your knowledge, right? Okay, read it. Many schools run fundraising events where the intention is to make a profit. This make them profit seeking. Is it a true statement or false? Yes, hurry up. So whatever you learn, now reread it, ponder it, and then answer it. Pause the video, first answer the question, and then I'll show you the next one. Is it done? Okay, now match your answer. The right answer is B. You might be thinking it's true, you see, because it's a fundraising and you see it's making a profit. So if there's a profit, so it's a profit seeking. No, you see, I told you the main objective is not the profit. I repeat it again and again. They may earn profit, but that is not the prime objective. So in this statement you can see the school runs fundraising event. So they just raised some fund and had an event, and out of that fund some money is saved. They made some profit. Like for example, they raised the fund of you can say $1 million, and they just spend it $500,000. So they make the profit of half of it, $500,000. So but that is not a profit seeking firm. So school run fund activities to help pay for the extra books or whatever, right, to improve the quality of education and giving to the people. The primary objective of is educational, not the profit. So even though they have earned the profit, but the main objective is not. So we say it's a false statement. So hope you got the concept. Now these kind of tricky things will come in your exams. So here, so you can have the practice on it, right? Another topic is NGO, non-governmental organization, a very commonly used term that we are always hearing all around us, that NGOs. So let's learn a little more about it. A non-governmental organization is one which does not have profit as primary goal. First point, right? So don't forget, it's a not-for-profit organization and is not directly linked to the national government. You see, this is the second point. So remember these points, because again I am telling you, in exam you can have these kind of statements, right? Like it may be like NGO is a not-profit organization and is coming and is controlled by the national government, right? So it's not directly linked to that. It's an independent private organization. NGOs are coming under private organizations. So by definition, its primary goal is not profit earning, rather than delivering a kind of a service, whatever area they are working in, whatever concerns they do have, right? And it's not directly linked to the national government. Now what they are doing basically, like you see, they often promote what? Changes, political, social, environmental, political change. They might an NGO might have been established to promote a certain kind of political change, political awareness. Similarly, social change. Social change means awareness about the rights of the women, awareness about the rights as a human being, awareness or gender balance, against discriminations or anything, right? So it can be a social awareness. Similarly, about the environmental, like previously, if you go 50 years back, 30 years back, so we did not have much care about the earth. So now you see there are a lot of NGOs who are working on the environmental changes, that what kind of environmental changes are occurring and how we can you can say we can save them from the hazardous kind of events, right? So there are various types of NGOs. They are a kind of a catalyst in promoting different types of changes. So now there can be debate that whether the changes are good or bad, but they are creating the changes as well, right? Now, for example, you see Red Cross, Doctor Without Borders, Greenpeace, Amnesty International, and hundreds and thousands of NGOs. They are working on variety of the areas. I would say almost every walk of life they are working. There are NGOs creating women entrepreneurs, right? There are NGOs working for eradicating certain diseases, fighting the diseases. There are NGOs creating SMEs, right? There are NGOs creating awareness of among the people about their rights. There are NGOs working on the capacity building. So a lot of NGOs, right, non-governmental organizations. But the point to remember is that they are objective is not to earn profit, and they are privately owned. Another is cooperatives. As the name clarifies, cooperatives, you see, it gives a sense of cooperation. So cooperatives are the organizations that are owned and democratically controlled by their members. Means there are few people who take this initiative, so they own that organization and they are controlling it democratically. Democratically means everybody is sharing the power, right? So like the way in democratic system form of government, we are, you see, everybody is participating in decision making directly or indirectly. So similarly in cooperative society organizations, so these few people take the initiative, they own the organization, and then there are other members who are like electing the board of directors or board of governors or whatever, right? So the people who buy their goods and services, all they are called as members. So they are organized solely to meet the needs of the members. So what is the basic objective? Basic objective is to meet the needs of the members who usually share any profit. So basically again it comes that it may be generating profit, right? And since all the people who have owned this organization, they are working for the profit as well. So in UK, the largest example of the cooperative is Cooperative Group. You can do a little search on the Google and you can find it, which has over 5.5 million members. You see, so many members, 5.5 million members, right? And operate in diverse market like banking, travels, groceries, etc. So they are a profit generating organization. Clear? So they cooperatives are owned. So there might be few directors or board of governors, central you can say people working in the system, and other people who are the members of it. Then comes, okay, now here is the question. Read it and then answer it. Which of the following are usually seen as the primary objective of the company? To maximize the wealth of the shareholders, to protect the environment, to make a profit. Okay, option A, all the three, 1, 2, 3. Option B, 1 and 2. Option C, 2 and 3 only. And option D, 1 and 3 only. Read it, reread it, critically think over it, and pause the video, figure out the answer, and don't go forward. I'm going to show you the answer, but you first try to find out answer for yourself and then match. So whatever you've learned so far, so see whether your learning is accurate or is there any deficiency. Okay, pause it, figure out. Okay, I'm going to show you the answer. Answer D. Why? You see, you might be thinking all the three are the objectives of the companies. Yes, all the three are the objectives, but here, as I told you, what is mentioned? The primary objective. You see, this is the technique. In exams, they just add one word to confuse you. So Though organization objective is to maximize the wealth, to protect the environment, to make the profit, but protection of the environment is basically not the prime objective, it's additional. So what do you say? Option D means 1 and 3 are the correct. While protecting the environment is to be encouraged and reinforced within the law of some degree, yet it is not the primary objective. So companies exist primarily to maximize the return to their owners. So option D is the correct one. To maximizing the wealth and making the profit. This is the primary objective of the companies, private companies. See, so these are the tips and techniques that you need to learn. Be very critical and thoroughly read the question. Don't jump, right? Okay. Next, which of the following organization is most likely to be classified as a part of the public sector? You see, we discussed public sector and private sector. A charity, social club, school, public limited company. Okay, answer it. I'm moving forward. Okay, found it? Basically option D, right? Because in public sector, charity is usually private, social club is private, school may be a public sector if it is governmentally owned, right? But it's not mentioned here, so we say public limited. Sorry, school is the the option C is the correct. Public limited company is on the company which is offered, shares are offered in it, right? So a school is the right answer, right? Okay, sectors in which organizations operate. There are a lot of sectors. Some of them are mentioned here. A further difference between organization is the market in which. So you see, we are discussing various aspects of the organization: private base and government base, okay, private and public, commercial and non-profit, and within it then we discussed various forms, right, based on the ownership as well, sole proprietor and sole traders, partnership and others. So here we are going to discuss the organizations that are providing services in different sectors. So it may be agriculture, mining, finance, retailers, services, or transportation. Agricultural organizations are related to production, processing and packaging of foodstuff. I mean those things which are coming from the soil, from the land, right? Crops, fruits, vegetables, right? Minerals. So from the land whatever we are extracting, so that normally comes under the not the minerals, from the food items, right? Food stuff. Minerals comes under the mining section. Extraction and processing of minerals, coal, gas, gold, silver, etc. Similarly, finance institutions which deals with money includes bank and other companies that profit through what? Investment and lending of money to others. So they lend money. Financial institutions, thrifts, banks, companies, investment companies, right? So now this is a different area of business. Retailers, very simple, sale of goods and produced by the manufacturer. Somebody is manufacturing and they are just selling it, right? Shops, wholesales and retail shops, right? Superstores. Services, they are not selling any good, but they are providing some intangible, like education, like telecom, right? Internet services, IT services, right? Transportation, and they are the people who make that business possible, from moving one goods to another. So movement of goods from one location to another location. So where we have heavy vehicles, transporters, right? So you see, by sector wise we can also have the other, like this organization is from agriculture sector, this is from financial sector, business sector, service sector, transportation sector, etc., etc. Now we can further have a discussion on organization. There are the differences between the basis of the ownerships, objectivities and activities, and so many others. Like ownership, so what are the key differences? The difference is, so this now we are going to summarize it, right? So what is it? The difference may be based on ownership. Ownership means The private sector organizations are likely to be owned by the individuals, owners and shareholders, right, depending on the type of the organization. And the public sector organization will be controlled by the government, you see. So means how we can differentiate between the organization based on the ownership. If government is owning, so it's public sector organization. If people and individuals are owning it, that is called private organizations. Similarly, we can differentiate organization based on the objectives. What is objectives? Objective is to earn profit, right? So it is commercial, or it will be commercial organization, like it's maximizing the wealth, or the objective may be provision of the social service. Okay, who is providing social services? Hurry up, we have discussed. Yeah, good. So provision of the social services can be from NGOs, social sector, charities, etc., right? So we can also classify organization basis on the objectives. We can differentiate it, right? We can also differentiate it based on the activities. The activities of the organization will be designed to support its objectives. This means organization activities are as varied as their organization. So one might be involved in production process, mean converting input to output. Other might be providing services. Other might be just delivering goods from one place to another place, you see. So different organizations are providing, means doing different activities. So you can also see the difference. Furthermore, how the funding comes, means from where does the money comes to this organization. So if what is the source of funding? The public sector organization will tend to raise money from the central government, you see. So the public sector organization, they get the money from the government. From where does the private sector organization get the money? They get from the people, right? They mostly like to raise the money from their owners, cooperatives, and private sector organization get the money from the owner, the one who has invested. And from where does the charities are getting money? They are getting from donations. Like there are people who donate, some countries donate, some people donate, organizations donate. So the charities are usually funded by the donations. So you see, different organizations are raising the funds from different sources. Public sector getting money from government, private sectors getting money from their owners, the shareholders, the charities getting money from the donors. Got it? Okay. Furthermore, we can see the difference basis on the sizes. Small size organization, multinationals, very small, like owned by one person, you see. Sole traders we have discussed. So sole traders means what? One person, right? Multinational, thousands of people, millions of people, there are a lot of shareholders, right? Similarly, we can also classify, we can see the difference based on the liability. How much liability is being borne? So the owner of the sole trader or the partnership are liable for the entire losses of the business, right? So who? The sole trader means the single owner, the partnership. In this case, if the business is incurring losses, all the loss will be borne by the owners. But in companies, they enjoy what? Limited liability, limited to their share. If my share is 10%, so I will be only responsible for 10% liability. It means all the owners are having total liability is their total share is, let's suppose 50%, so they will be bearing 50. The rest of the 50% will be borne by the organization. So it's not unlimited, right? Even though there are so many differences, still there are some similarities. We have discussed so many differences, right? Based on ownership, based on this, based on activities, based on objectives, but still they have similarities. What? Most of the people, most will have employees to be employees needed to be motivated. Whether it's a charity organization, whether it's a public sector, whether it's a private sector, whether it's a profit-seeking organization or not for profit-seeking organization, in all the organization we need employees motivation. If the people working in that organization, they are motivated, so obviously the objective of that firm, whatever that objective is, that will be achieved. In case of charities, they are non-profit organizations. What they are doing, they are serving humanity. So if people are not motivated, so then objectives will not be achieved. So many organizations will need to design strategies for the future. Similarly, if it's a private organization or a government organization or any other type of organization, they must need to develop a plan, strategies to, you can say, achieve their objective, right? So no, that might be you can say that might be to achieve the to earn the profit or to serve the people. So many organizations, means almost I would say all the organizations need to develop the strategies. Even a small shopkeeper, he is making strategy, though he is not making in paper and not documenting it, but he is making in his own mind as well, right? Or she. What many organizations will need to consider, what system should be put in place to ensure accurate recording of transactions. So means they also must have some financial reporting system, financial transaction recording system, right? Like in very small organization like sole traders, they may be using single entry system, and in big corporation they may be using double entry system. But anyhow, they have to think over it. They have to keep the record of their financing, ingoing and outflow, or inflow and outflow of money, right? From where does the money comes, how it is spent, how much profit or loss they are making. So in any case, they have to make a certain kind of recording system. So these are the similarities between the organization. So here is what we have discussed so far. We have discussed the organization, then we divide organizations, we have discussed that organization's nature, means there are three basic ingredients in the organization. Number one is they are social arrangements, means people. So there are some people working in it in a certain set of arrangements. They have one common goal. All the people, right from the lower to the top, from the security guard or the PN or the janitor to the CEO, they have one common goal, right? Collective goal, maybe one or more than that, but that is a collective goal, right? And controlled performance, there is some mechanism and there is some job descriptions and key performance indicators for everybody to perform a certain set of duty, and there is a mechanism to check it. Then we defined various types of organization: profit seeking versus non-profit seeking, private versus public, cooperative societies or cooperative organizations, and NGOs. We also had discussed differences of the organization based on ownership, based on objectives, based on activities, based on funding, size, liabilities, etc., etc. So that's all from my side. So here I'm going to show you some quizzes, some further you can say exam pattern questions. Read it carefully, figure out the answer, and then share it with me, and then we'll see whether it's right or wrong. Number one question is on as apparent, it says is at your screen, so you can see it. Read it carefully and then figure out the answer for you. So you can pause the video here. I'm not going to read it, I'm not going to show you the answer. You need to check it by yourself. You can share your answer with me later on once you found the answer, so you can cross-examine it, and then I'll tell you whether it's right or wrong, right? So I hope you got the concept, you can get it. Next is question number 5. Which of the following statement organization are correct? So read it. Option number 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all given. Next, here are the 4 statements relating to the features of different types of organization. You see here you have been given a different types of organization. Like for example, this type of organization can sell its shares to public, right? So what you will do, identify the description above which is associated with each of the following type of organization. Now this type of organization can sell its share to public. Okay, which one? Private limited, partnership, public limited, cooperatives, public sector organization, or sole trader. It's trader, right? Okay, I'll show you one, then the next you can do. So which organization can offer the share in the public? Public limited companies. So you will select For A, option 3 is the right one. Don't confuse it with public sector organization. Public sector organization is an organization which is run by the government. This one, this type of organization is controlled by the government. So option C. So for the C, option number 5 is the correct one. So I've done the 2. The rest you can do it by yourself, right? And then tell me the answer. Similarly, below are the 4 types of organization: charity, schools, limited companies, and police forces. What you are going to do, what you are supposed to do, write down which 2 of the above are the most likely to be classified as a part of private sector. Okay, which is private sector? Charities, schools, limited companies, police. There are only 2 organizations which are private. I'll give you the hint. For the school we have already one quiz, right? So now you can see whether it's private or public. I'm not going to tell you, right? So you need to do it, and then next class I will show you the answers. Another is, which of the following would be considered to be an organization? Sole trader, is it an organization? Remember the definition: social arrangements, collective goals, controlled performance. So tennis club, is it? Hospital, is it? So option number A is all the 3 are the organizations. Option B is only 1 and 2. Option C is the 2 and 3, and option C, D is 1 and 3. So now you need to see. Hurry up. I know you can do it, right? Okay. Thank you very much, Ji. If there's anything, so you can discuss, share my contact number, email address, Facebook, YouTube, everything is on the screen. You can contact me anytime, or you can share your answers through email. I will give you the feedback and even explain you how and why if it is wrong. And I'm sure you are not going to do the wrong things. I believe in your competency. Okay, have a great day. Thank you.